What if the secret to achieving your biggest goals isn't in telling the world, but in keeping your plans to yourself? Most people think sharing their dreams will bring support and motivation, but neuroscience shows it often does the opposite. When you announce your intentions too soon, your brain tricks you into feeling accomplished before the real work begins, quietly stealing your focus and drive. Imagine what you could achieve if you harnessed the hidden power of silence, protecting your motivation and letting your actions speak louder than words. Ready to discover why silence might be your strongest strategy yet? Have you ever noticed how sometimes, the more you tell people about your plans or goals, the less motivated you feel to actually follow through? It's not just a coincidence or a lack of willpower. There's something deeper happening inside your brain, something wired into you from way back when humans had to survive in groups. Our brains are naturally wired to seek approval from others. This social validation was a survival mechanism long ago. Being accepted by the group meant safety, food, and protection. So, our brains learn to crave praise and recognition. When you share your goals too early, like telling everyone about a big project you want to start or a dream you're chasing, your brain reacts by releasing dopamine, a chemical that makes you feel good. Dopamine is often called the feel-good neurotransmitter because it rewards us when we do things that keep us alive and happy. But here's the catch. This dopamine release can trick your brain into thinking you've already made some progress, even when you haven't. It's like your brain gives you a little reward for just talking about the goal, not for actually working toward it. That tiny hit of pleasure creates a false sense of accomplishment, which can quietly kill your motivation. Suddenly, the urgency and focus you once had starts slipping away, and you feel less driven to put in the hard work that real success demands. So, why does this happen? Because your brain mistakes the social praise for a real achievement, and once it feels satisfied, it's less eager to push you forward. This is why withholding your plans isn't about keeping secrets or being mysterious. It's a smart, strategic move to protect your brain's motivation systems. By keeping your goals private, you avoid those premature dopamine hits and the distractions that come with social validation. You preserve your focus, stay connected to your true drive, and build steady, unshakable progress from the inside out. In this talk, I'll explain exactly why silence can be one of your most powerful tools on the path to success. Let's dive a little deeper into what's going on inside your brain when you share your goals too soon. At the heart of this process is a chemical called dopamine. Think of dopamine as your brain's little reward messenger. It lights up when you experience something pleasurable or when you're motivated to take action. It's the reason why finishing a task, eating your favorite food, or getting a compliment makes you feel good. But dopamine doesn't just respond to actual achievements, it also reacts when your brain expects a reward. This expectation is where things get tricky when it comes to sharing your plans. When you tell others about what you're aiming for, your brain releases dopamine as if you've already earned some success. It's like getting a little celebration before the real party even starts. While that might feel great at first, this early dopamine boost can actually create a disconnect. Your brain gets confused because it's already received some of the reward without the effort. There's a concept in neuroscience called dopamine reward prediction error that explains this. Simply put, your brain learns to predict rewards and adjusts your motivation based on how and when those rewards arrive. If you get a reward too early, like praise or validation from others before completing the work, your brain thinks the job is partly done. This means future motivation can take a nosedive because the reward feels less exciting or valuable. It's as if your brain says, "Hey, we already had the good feeling, so why push so hard now?" Announcing your goals prematurely tricks your brain into believing that the work is done, even though the real challenge is still ahead. As a result, your drive to take consistent action and follow through starts to fade. Understanding this neuroscience behind oversharing can help you protect your motivation by holding back on sharing your goals until you've made real progress. That way, your brain saves its dopamine rewards for the moments that truly deserve celebration, keeping your focus sharp and your determination strong. When you share your goals with others, it's natural to want some encouragement or praise. Hearing someone say, "You're doing great," or "I believe in you," can feel really good. It can even give you a quick boost of confidence. But here's the catch. This kind of support is a form of external validation, which means you're relying on other people's approval to feel motivated. While that encouragement can feel uplifting in the moment, it can slowly shift your motivation away from what's really important, your own inner drive. When motivation comes from inside you, called intrinsic motivation, it tends to be stronger, steadier, and more lasting. But when it depends too much on others' praise or approval, what we call extrinsic motivation, your drive can become fragile. You might find yourself feeling great one day and discouraged the next, based on the reactions of others. Another interesting thing happens in your brain when you talk about your goals too early. The prefrontal cortex, which is the part responsible for planning and self-control, starts to simulate success before you've really earned it. This mental rehearsal tricks your brain into feeling satisfied, so the urgency to keep pushing forward decreases. It's like your brain is already celebrating the win, so it doesn't feel the same need to work hard anymore. On top of that, sharing your goals can open you up to social scrutiny. The part of your brain called the amygdala is highly sensitive to social threats, like judgment or criticism. When you worry about what others might think, your amygdala kicks in and triggers stress responses. This stress can cloud your thinking, make it harder to focus, and even reduce your ability to keep going when things get tough. So, while social feedback can sometimes feel good, it can also make it harder to stay truly motivated and focused if you rely on it too much or share your goals too soon. Protecting your inner drive means learning when to keep your plans private and nurturing your motivation from within. Keeping your goals to yourself might seem like you're hiding something, but actually, it's one of the smartest moves you can make for your motivation and progress. When you keep your plans private, you're protecting your intrinsic motivation, that powerful inner drive that comes from genuinely wanting to improve and overcome challenges. This kind of motivation is steady and long-lasting because it's rooted in the process of growth, not in what others think. On the other hand, sharing your goals too soon often invites distractions. Well-meaning friends or acquaintances might offer opinions or advice that aren't really helpful or might even discourage you without meaning to. These external voices can shake your confidence and pull your focus away from the hard work you need to do. By keeping your goals private, you save your brain's mental energy for what really counts: deliberate practice and consistent effort. Your brain doesn't have to juggle unnecessary social feedback or deal with the extra stress that comes from worrying about what others think. Plus, privacy shields you from social judgment and the pressure to conform to others' expectations, which can make you doubt your own path. It also helps you avoid unsolicited advice that can confuse or slow you down. When your goals are your own secret mission, you stay in control of your focus, your pace, and your progress. This kind of quiet determination creates a calm, clear mindset that's perfect for doing the deep work that leads to real success. Your brain is wired to learn best through doing, not just thinking or planning. While setting goals and imagining success are important first steps, it's the actual actions you take that really fire up your brain's reward and learning systems. When you follow through and put effort into your tasks, your brain releases dopamine, a chemical that feels like a little "well done" inside your head. This reward helps you feel motivated and encourages you to keep going. There's a powerful process called neuroplasticity, which means your brain physically changes and strengthens its connections based on what you practice regularly. The more consistent your actions, the stronger these neural pathways become, making productive habits easier and more automatic over time. In contrast, intentions alone are more abstract. They happen mainly in the planning centers of your brain but don't provide the same motivation as real, completed actions. Just thinking or talking about your plans doesn't create those rewarding brain signals that help you stay committed. Another important piece is how your brain processes social cues. Neuroscience shows that others pay more attention to what you do than what you say you'll do. Your actions are the real proof of your commitment, not your words. This means that by focusing on taking steps rather than just talking about them, you not only strengthen your brain's motivation but also build trust and credibility with yourself and those around you. So, if you want to keep your motivation strong and your progress steady, remember, it's all about doing, not just dreaming. When you share your goals openly, you might not realize just how much social judgment can affect your brain and your progress. The fear of being criticized or judged triggers a part of your brain called the amygdala, which is responsible for processing emotions like fear and stress. When this part lights up, It sets off stress responses that can make it harder for your brain's executive center, the prefrontal cortex, to do its job. This means your ability to plan, focus, and make good decisions takes a hit. Feeling anxious about what others might think doesn't just hurt your confidence, it can actually slow down your productivity and make it tough to stay on track. Another tricky thing is the pressure to fit in or conform to what others expect. Humans naturally want to belong, so we often change our behaviors to match those around us. But this social conformity can stifle your authentic growth and push you away from your true path. That's why protecting your goals by keeping them private can be so powerful. It helps you avoid this pressure, so you can grow in a way that feels right for you. Plus, by not overloading your brain with constant social feedback and opinions, you reduce cognitive overload and decision fatigue, which are fancy ways of saying your brain isn't overwhelmed and tired from too much information. This mental clarity keeps you sharp, focused, and ready to take steady, confident steps toward your goals without distractions or second-guessing. Keeping your goals and progress private isn't just about secrecy, it's a smart strategy that offers you real advantages, especially when it comes to protecting your creative process. When you work quietly without sharing every step, you get to decide when and how to reveal your achievements, which means you're in control of the timing in the story you tell. This control helps you avoid premature pressure or distractions that can derail your focus and momentum. By staying under the radar, you reduce the stress that often comes from worrying about what others think or expect from you. Without the weight of external opinions, your mind stays calm and focused, making it easier to put your full energy into meaningful work. Another big benefit is that keeping your journey private helps you build a stronger sense of personal agency, the empowering feeling that you are the one guiding your path, not the approval or validation of others. When you minimize your reliance on external praise or social approval, you develop motivation that's steady and comes from within. This internal drive is much more reliable than the fleeting highs of applause or the lows of criticism. Ultimately, this quiet approach helps you preserve your motivation and emotional resilience, which are essential for long-term success. By protecting your goals with privacy and surprise, you give yourself the space to grow authentically and steadily, creating a foundation that can support you through challenges and keep you moving forward toward your dreams. One of the most important secrets to lasting success is something simple but powerful: consistency. Your brain is built to learn and grow through repeated actions, thanks to a process called neuroplasticity. This means that every time you perform a behavior, like practicing a skill, working on a project, or sticking to a routine, your brain strengthens the connections between neurons related to that action. Over time, this makes those behaviors easier and more automatic, turning good habits into second nature. But when your efforts are inconsistent, when you work hard one day and slack off the next, your brain struggles to build strong, stable habits. This inconsistency can lead to fatigue, frustration, and a drop in motivation because your brain never fully commits to the behavior. On the other hand, showing up regularly, even if the effort feels small, helps keep your motivation steady. That's because consistent action encourages a more balanced and continuous release of dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical. Instead of short bursts of excitement followed by crashes, your brain learns to expect rewards in a reliable way, which helps maintain your drive over the long haul. So, while big bursts of energy might feel good momentarily, it's the steady, everyday actions that truly build momentum and lead to meaningful, lasting success. Self-discipline is like the brain's personal coach, helping you stay on track even when distractions or tough emotions try to pull you away. At the center of this control is the prefrontal cortex, a part of your brain that acts like a command center for making decisions and managing impulses. This area helps you pause, think, and choose actions that align with your goals instead of giving in to momentary urges or feelings. Learning to manage your emotions is a huge part of self-discipline because feelings like frustration, stress, or boredom can easily lead to distractions or impulsive choices that steer you off course. The good news is that as you build habits, regular routines that become automatic over time, you reduce the mental effort needed to stay disciplined. Habits take over some of the work so your brain doesn't have to constantly fight temptation. Another powerful aspect of self-discipline is delayed gratification, which means resisting small, immediate rewards in favor of bigger, long-term benefits. When you do this, your brain's dopamine system kicks in to reward you for thinking ahead, making it easier to stick with your plans over time. Of course, self-discipline isn't just about willpower, it's also supported by lifestyle choices. Getting enough sleep, eating nourishing food, and staying active all help your brain function at its best, giving you more energy and focus to maintain control over your impulses and emotions. When you combine strong habits, emotional regulation, and healthy living, self-discipline becomes less about struggle and more about steady, sustainable progress toward your goals. Our brains have a limited amount of mental energy each day, and managing that energy well is key to staying focused and productive. When your mind is constantly bombarded with distractions or forced to make too many decisions, it quickly gets tired. This is called decision fatigue. To keep your brain sharp, it's important to prioritize what really matters and design your environment to support that focus. This might mean clearing your workspace of clutter, turning off unnecessary notifications, or setting specific times to check emails and messages. Simplifying your surroundings helps conserve your mental energy so you don't waste it on small, unnecessary choices. Another powerful tool to combat distractions and fatigue is mindfulness, practicing being fully present and aware of your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Mindfulness helps you notice when your attention starts to wander or when impulses to procrastinate arise, giving you a chance to gently guide your focus back to the task at hand. It also calms your brain's stress response, making it easier to resist distractions and maintain control over your actions. By creating a supportive environment and practicing mindfulness, you protect your limited cognitive resources and keep your brain energized and ready for deep, meaningful work. The people around you play a bigger role in your success than you might realize. When you're in a positive social environment, surrounded by supportive and motivated individuals, it actually activates your brain's reward pathways. This means you naturally feel more encouraged and energized to keep going. Having a network that holds you accountable can make a huge difference, helping you stay on track even when things get tough or your motivation dips. Plus, being around disciplined and focused people tends to boost your own ability to self-regulate. It's like their habits and mindset rub off on you, making it easier to develop strong routines and maintain control over your actions. So, choosing your social circle wisely isn't just good advice, it's a smart way to strengthen your own motivation and discipline. Focusing on yourself and your own goals is one of the most powerful ways to stay motivated and make real progress. When you prioritize what truly matters to you, instead of getting caught up in distractions or other people's expectations, you tap into intrinsic motivation, which comes from within and is much stronger and longer lasting. Taking time for self-reflection helps you become more aware of your thoughts, feelings, and progress. This awareness encourages a growth mindset, where you see challenges as chances to learn rather than as setbacks. When you set clear, personalized goals that truly reflect your values and passions, you activate parts of your brain responsible for planning and reward, making it easier to stay focused and excited about your journey. Most importantly, when your daily actions align with your core beliefs, your motivation deepens and your ability to persevere through difficulties grows. It's this connection between your values and your efforts that fuels sustained success and fulfillment. Now that you understand how silence can protect your motivation and boost your success, it's time to put this knowledge into action. At the end of the day, what really matters is not how much you talk about your plans but what you actually do. Actions speak louder than words, and focusing on execution instead of announcements keeps you moving forward in a meaningful way. By keeping your goals private, you protect your mental energy from distractions and unnecessary stress, allowing you to concentrate fully on the work that counts. Building lasting success comes from consistent, deliberate effort combined with strong self-discipline, not from sharing every idea or intention before it's ready. When you invest in yourself through steady progress and thoughtful action, you not only strengthen your resilience and creativity but also increase your ability to make a positive impact on those around you. So remember, the quiet work behind the scenes often leads to the biggest wins. Talk less, do more, and watch your efforts turn into real, lasting success.